Hey everybody, welcome to the McEntee Law Group's first Friday. My name is Ray McEntee. I am one of the partners here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Got a lot of stuff to cover. Some of it is not great, unfortunately. Some of it's good. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about today is the official start of the H1B CAP registration period. It opened up earlier this morning, and it runs until the registration runs until March 24th. Okay. So basically the registration period allows individuals to enter the registration for a H1B visa. A H1B visa is a visa for specialty occupation positions. So this is jobs that require a 4-year degree in a specific field. And they do the registration because traditionally there's more people that are applying for H1 visas than there are available. There are 65,000 regular H1B visas available every year, and then there's a further 20,000 for those with US advanced degrees. And what we've seen for the last many years is that there's been a lottery system. And the reason why they've been doing this lottery system, it's a random lottery system, is just that there's been more people applying than there are available visas. Some years you'd have a 4-in-1 chance, some years 5-in-1, others 3-in-1. That's just why they do this lottery. It's just because there's more people applying than there are available visas. Okay, so as we said, the lottery, it opens up today and it runs until March 24th for the registration period. Sorry. Once they close the registration, if they've confirmed that if they've met the cap, then what they do is, assuming that they're going to have more applicants this year than available visas, which I say is a pretty safe assumption based on past many years where it has been that case. What they do is then they'll conduct a random lottery. And they should have the lottery results by late March, early April. They'll start notifying people if they've been selected in the lottery. Once you've been selected in the lottery, I think you've got like 90 days to file your petition. So generally, the petition filings would be like from like April 1st through to like June 30th, 2025. That's kind of when, if you've been selected in the lottery, then you got to file your H1B petition, and then the earliest those petitions take effect is October 1st. Some of them, depending on when they're filed, how they're filed, if there's a request for evidence, they may be later than October 1st, the start date, but it's no earlier than October 1st, 2025. There's some changes to the registration this year. The lottery, the selection now is based on the individual and not the employer. Where previously it was the employer that would file it. Now it's kind of switched to the individual. Also, there has been a substantial increase in the cost, the registration fee. It used to be $10. It's now gone up to $215 per beneficiary. There is extended cap gap protections for F1 students, for OPT and STEM OPT only. You can potentially, your status can kind of extend if you fall within that kind of classification. Okay, there's also new rules that were published for entrepreneurs. It's for a H1B. Basically, if you own a company, if you're a majority owner of a company, if that can petition for you, there is new requirements for that. It does have some limits, so it's important to check with an immigration attorney before that. Okay, so if you enter the registration and you are selected in the registration, kind of what are the next steps? Once you'll get notified by USCIS and you'll be given a window. It's a 90-day window in which you need to file your H1B petition. So your employer needs to file your petition. There's quite a bit involved in that. So, as soon as you get notified, if you've been selected in registration, you should really get moving on things. Your employer needs to file a labor condition application. That's going to take some time. I think it's like 7 business days to get filed, and you need to prepare the forms, all of that, the letter of support and the supporting exhibits, and get that filed. So if you've been selected in the registration, you need to get moving on things straight away, notify your employer, and get moving through the immigration firm helping you. Okay, so that's the H1B registration period. Just a reminder, if you're interested in applying for a H1B this year, you need to enter the registration. and that closes on March 24th. So, you need to get moving on things. It opened today and it's closed on the 24th. If you don't enter the registration this year, you got to wait till next year, and it's going to be like a March registration with an October 2026 start date. So, okay. TPS, temporary protected status for Haitian citizens, has been cut short. It's been cut from 18 months to 12 months. So it's now, the end date of it now is going to be August 3rd, 2025. This is going to really impact a lot of Haitians who were here that thought they were going to be here for 18 months, where now they're, it's been cut 33% less time. And people are now going to have to figure out next steps, what their plans are by August 3rd. So that's obviously going to really impact a lot of people. If you're a Haitian TPS holder, you just need to know that, your TPS, it's going to expire sooner. It's not the 18 months. It's going to be shorter now, that 12-month period. If you haven't applied yet, the deadline is to register is October 3rd, 2025. If you are a Haitian with TPS, just check your TPS and your expiration date. If you have TPS, or someone a family member or a friend has TPS, you should seek legal help immediately. Talk to an immigration lawyer who helps you maybe with your initial application, or talk to a firm. You can come and talk to us, do a consultation about your next steps. Follow our social media for breaking immigration news. Reach out to us if you want to have a consultation, you want to talk about next steps. We'd be happy to help. Another update is that there's been updated forms, and unfortunately, what we've seen with previous administrations, they give you a grace period for this change to kick in. With this current administration, they're not giving any grace period, and they're backdating it, just trying to make things more difficult. So all of the following forms have a new form version. There's no grace period, and they were backdated to 1/20/2025. Okay, so the I-918 visa, I-485 adjustment of status, I-485A, or I-485J. These are all related to adjustment of status, green card applications. The I-131, which is advanced parole. N-400, which is the form for naturalization. So all of these have been updated and have immediate effect. So if you're in the process of, filing a U visa, a green card, an adjustment of status, filing advanced parole or citizenship, this is something that's going to impact you. So you need to talk to your immigration attorney and make sure that everybody's aware about this, so that you're not filing an outdated form. It's going to be rejected. The case will probably be denied. You'll lose your filing fees. So that's important. There was a recent announcement that the Trump administration is potentially targeting Ukrainians that came in under the Unite for Ukraine program for deportation. It hasn't been confirmed, but sources are reporting that they're considering revoking the legal status of nearly 250,000 Ukrainians who came here under the U4U program, and they could potentially be at risk of fast-track deportation. If you are Ukrainian, you're under this program, you just need to check your status ASAP. This is just so cruel and unnecessary, this targeting Ukrainians. Their country's at war and they have nowhere to return to if they're deported. If you are Ukrainian and you're under this program, and you want some advice, you want some assistance, please reach out to us, contact us. You can contact us, look at our website, McEntee Law. You can reach out to us at info@mcenteelaw.com, and also follow our social media for update and for some guidance. Another recent announcement under this administration is the registry order. Trump signed Protecting the American People Against Invasion executive order January 20th, 2025. This executive order is aimed at forcing immigrants to register with Department of Homeland Security or face criminal or civil penalties. Again, I don't think it's been finalized yet, but kind of what they're saying is who must register is anyone over the age of 14 who wasn't fingerprinted when applying for a visa. Parents of children under the age of 14 must register for their kids. And then even if you were previously registered an immigrant, must re-register at the age of 14. So what does this executive order mean? It's registration. It's not legal status. Doesn't convey any legal status. It doesn't give work authorization or protection from deportation. It's just an additional requirement that this administration is looking to impose. They're saying that non-compliance could result in fines, misdemeanor charges, or potential ICE enforcement action. They said that DHS will introduce a new registration process and that their details will be released soon. Who's this impacting? Who's going to be at risk of this? People who entered without inspection, so any kind of individuals without documentation, without proper documentation. Some Canadians and TPS, DACA holders could be impacted by this, and anyone without official DHS registration records. What you should do about this? Don't ignore it. Get informed and know your rights. Wait for the DHS announcement on the registration process. See what that is. See what they're asking to do. And then also, as we're always saying, just consult an immigration attorney before submitting anything to USCIS. It's always good to get advice and know what you're doing. Again, there's more bad news is that there is rumors of a new travel ban being introduced. Trump is potentially targeting people from Afghanistan and Pakistan from entering the US. It could be as soon as next week. This is based on a review of country security and vetting risks. This other countries may also be involved. We saw that they had a Muslim travel ban introduced early on into his first presidency. So this is unfortunately just not surprising that this is coming again. As I said, this is just rumors right now, so we'll have to just see what happens. Fortunately, this administration decides to just do stuff straight away and give no prior notice, try cause as much chaos as possible. So it's just important to keep an eye on things and just see where that goes. And so, in some good news, I know there's been a lot of bad news, unfortunately, with this first Friday, but some good news. It's Employee Appreciation Day, and I just want to shout out all the great employees out there, and just let you know how valuable you are. And I particularly want to shout out all of our amazing team at McEntee Law and our H1B team that is doing amazing stuff right now with the CAP registration opening. I just let everybody know how much we value you. So thank you. Okay, we have some questions that I'm going to answer here now. Take a look at. Do you need VC funding for an O1 visa? No, it's not a requirement. It depends what O1 visa you're going for. There's O1As that cover science, athletic, business. There's O1Bs that cover the arts. And then there's the O1B from television and motion picture. So no, VC funding is not a requirement. If you have it, it could potentially be used in some of the criteria, but it's absolutely not a requirement for the O1. You can, if you've got to be nominated for or received a major award in your field, or if not, there's a list of alternate criteria. There's certain ones for the O1A and there's different ones for the O1B. You need to satisfy at least 3 of them to be O1 eligible. Okay. Next question. How do I update my address with USCIS? You can do that by going online and filling out a form AR11. It's an online form where you can update your address. You just put in your case number and it's attached to it and you can update it through that. So it's doing an online AR11. Okay. I'm applying for Irish citizenship and need to find my grandmother's birth certificate, but I'm not in contact with any of her family. What should I do? Okay, it depends when your grandmother is born. After 1864, they started centralizing. They centralized records in Ireland. So if you have your grandmother's information, you need to know her name, her date of birth, her place of birth, her mother's birth name, and her father's name if listed on the birth certificate. If you have all of that information and your grandmother was born after 1864, and her birth was registered, you can search for it through the hse.ie. That's hse.ie. All of those records, certificates are public record in Ireland, so you can request them. So as long as you have that basic information about your grandmother, when she was born after 1864, and her birth is registered, you can get it from the hse.ie. Okay. Another question. I have an O1 visa as a Colombian national. I'm currently outside the US. Will they revoke my O1B upon re-entry? I don't know. I mean, if there's like I'm not really sure how to fully correctly answer this. I don't think so. Just because you're Colombian, you're outside the US, they shouldn't. Assuming that you've been made like you're still coming in under the terms of your O1B, and that whatever way that was set up, you're coming in to do that. And there's no other reasons to deny you entry or to revoke your visa unless you've done something in the meantime. Then they shouldn't. But again, there's just a lot of uncertainty with the administration. There's potential travel bans coming in. But yeah, I would need more information to answer that question fully. And then I have a special immigrant juvenile status. Should I be flying right now? Again, I just like with everything that's going on, I just kind of always just, you don't need to travel. I wouldn't, just with everything that's happening. But again, we'd need more information to answer that question. I think that's kind of all of the questions we got. Just kind of the main takeaways from today's First Friday is that, the H1B registration opened up. It's only open for a limited period of time. So if you're looking at a H1B, you need to get your registration in. It closed on 24th. Unfortunately, there's a lot of temporary protected status that are potentially being revoked, cut short. There's potential travel bans coming. It's just all very chaotic, and it's just symptomatic of this first time around with the Trump administration. This is the way they do things. Unfortunately, it's just important to be watching the news, to be paying attention. Follow us on our social media. If you're concerned, if you're having issues, you're being impacted by any of this, you can reach out to us. We'd be happy to do consultations and try advise you on your options. Okay, going to sign off now. I hope everybody has a nice weekend. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.